So today I'm going to be going through my new sort of web app here. As you can see, it's my calendar, and really just why I chose to use Tailwind CSS over any other sort of CSS or styled components, which I've currently used, or sorry, have used in the past. So yeah, I guess in terms of the actual styles themselves, you can see it's quite a simple site. It's just a single page. This is a Next.js, so React application using TypeScript, but yeah, it also uses the Tailwind sort of template from Next. So it kind of was already there. It was all set up. I don't think there was much else to install. And as you can see, yeah, it's pretty simple. So I've got, a heading, just a little bit of text, copy, a couple of icons, some image here with an outline, and obviously I've rounded it off as a circle. And then we've got a couple of embeds. So there's a button for my CV template, and then also the calendar link as well, if you'd like to perhaps book in a video call. So if you don't know, I'm currently helping some aspiring and junior developers to get their first jobs. So this is a free 30-minute call. And yeah, we can go over your, let's say, application or your GitHub and LinkedIn, and yeah, can offer some advice, hopefully based on my experience of learning to code and then also getting that first job, as I did a couple of years ago now, back in 2021, and as I started to learn to code in the summer of 2020. And then yeah, also my CV now is available as a template. So yeah, you can sort of click that and grab it there. So as I said, more than happy to take any of the questions related to sort of aspiring or junior developers. But for this video here, I'm just going to go over why I picked or chose Tailwind for this project. And if we actually just dive into the code here, so as I said, you can kind of see for reference, I'll keep this open and maybe go back to it a few times, but really the code is where it's all at. And yeah, so this is a Next.js application. I'm using Next 13 here. Go to the package JSON. So yeah, Next 13 down here, and obviously React 18 as well. And I believe the only other thing that I added was React icons for these two icons here. That was it. So yeah, basically, well, as basic as it gets really for a Next site. As I said, it's just a single page. So in terms of the styles that I needed, that Tailwind, well, I guess it could do, but it was just a little bit cumbersome to try and sort of figure that out. Was obviously just a CSS reset here, which I like to do. Just wanted to add a background color to the body. There's then a keyframes rotate, and this is actually rotating the blob, which is the background that you might not be able to see because it's kind of, what's it called? It has some blur, so filter blur. So obviously if I was to take that off, you would just see a blob, this gradient, linear gradient, and it rotates sort of 20 seconds intervals. So it does a full rotation, and that's just infinite. So it just keeps going basically. And you might not be able to see it, it's very subtle, but yeah, I think it looks quite nice. So that's the only CSS that I actually wrote. The rest of it was in the index.tsx, and this is the file where obviously this page being rendered comes from. So yeah, super simple. We don't actually need to do anything in terms of Tailwind. It was kind of all set up from the template. So I could just start using class names and then the Tailwind classes. And as you can see here, as I'm hovering over them, it actually tells you exactly what that class is. So just as an example, if I forget what items center relates to, I can see it's a line items center. And obviously with gap, it's just the gap. And here it actually gives you the rem value and then what that translates to in pixels as well. So obviously Tailwind has its own scale of, let's say, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know if it's in sort of 2 at a time or single digits. But yeah, you can see that full is 100%. That's the same for that. Margin top, again 10, so it's 2.5 rem, otherwise 40 pixels. And super simple. And really, if you think about it, this is the longest line of Tailwind that is in the whole application. And I don't think it's that long. It hasn't broken across a line. If I go sort of full screen here, it's very readable. And yeah, I just like that it's all within the same file. So, you know, because it's a small project, it's not one that I want to sort of be updating too often or maintaining. And I don't need sort of a separation of concerns in terms of the styles and then the logic, because really there isn't actually any. It's just a very simple application. There's just some text, obviously in paragraph tags. And as you can see, I'm just applying a font weight and coloring the text white. And it's super simple. In terms of the script, so the button is just a script here, and then the calendar link is from cal.com. So they've got a React embed and sort of a library for that. But yeah, that's kind of neither here nor there. So as you can see, it's super simple to write Tailwind. And once you know, obviously, assuming if you know normal CSS or Sass as well, which I've used, it's very simple to just add in and sort of, I guess you have to subscribe to the Tailwind philosophy. So rather than display flex, you know, and obviously putting a class name here, you just write flex, and then that div is now a flex div, which is really nice and quick to do. So that's kind of it, really, to be honest. Like, you know, they have their own colors as well, and you can override this, of course. I just went with yeah, the ones that I liked, and you know, there's not much color on the page anyway, so it was quite simple. And the only other thing here is a media query. So you can see here that MD, so that means min width. So essentially I want the text to be 3XL, right, which is my name here, and then when we get higher it will be 4XL. So it's quite nice in the sense that this is really simple syntax, rather than having to always remember this media, screen, min width, the max width, all of that, and what pixel to use. Yeah, I always hated that if I was ever coding my own project. Thankfully, you know, I kind of work with the design systems now, and there's, or let's say sort of mix-ins and media queries already created for me. But you know, if you ever worked with media queries, you can basically, no one ever remembers it, and you always have to just Google exactly what it is each time. But with Tailwind, it's super simple to be like, yeah, on medium size up, I want to have this property. And you know, if let's say I wanted MD up, we could then do text-black, for example, and then that would set the text to white until it gets to this pixel width, so the min width of 768, and then it would change to black straight away. Super simple. Obviously, I'm not running the development server at the moment for this site anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to be able to show you that, but that's how it works. And yeah, if I go down sort of on the size, you'll be able to see this is the 4XL, and then I guess once we go past that breakpoint, might be a bit slow. Where will it be? There it is, and then you can see it jumps down a bit, and it's a bit smaller now. So yeah, that's kind of the site itself. You know, super easy to do a responsive design. As you can see here, I've got the sort of a single row, and then we go to a 2-row design for mobile. We sort of, or a single column, I guess I should say. And yeah, I really like it for simple web apps where you don't have too much going on. And you know, now it's super simple. If I want to change anything within here, so whether it's styles, the copy, add an icon, or you know, add any scripts or embeds or integrations, I just come to this single file within the app, and I don't have to worry about anything else now. And you know, even if we did have a couple of pages, I think Tailwind still very much lends itself to that sort of smaller projects. I don't know how good it would be for a large-scale project. I'd be interested to know if anyone or yourself have worked on one, sort of, you know, I guess at a corporate or a big project using Tailwind. Be interested to kind of see, yeah, if other developers like it, first and foremost, you know, because once you've kind of gone this way, I guess it'd be very hard to, well, ideally you wouldn't even have sort of two methods. But yeah, I just wondered how it would sort of lend itself going forward. But yeah, I think overall Tailwind's a great choice for personal projects and simple sites like I've got here. And as I said at the start of the video, if you are an aspiring or junior developer and you know, need a bit of help getting your first job, or would like to purchase my CV template, all of that's available on my calendar here. So I'll leave the link to that site, or this particular site, below in the description. And yeah, I look forward to speaking with you in the next video. So yeah, thanks for watching.